Hi Amy, how you doing? Thanks so much for getting your sketches up and kicking things off as usual. Let me jump over here to your sketches. And I got just a few general comments to make that I think are really going to make sense to you. But you've done a really good job here. You've really done a lot of different considerations, and this is fantastic. And it's just I just want to again thank you for your effort and your work ethic throughout the course, the entirety of the course. You've been spot on from day one, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Okay, let's start with the letterheads. Now, I think the most versatile letterhead is the one that allows for the open space of the where the body copy of the letterhead would go to be as accessible as possible. And for that reason, I'm going to suggest this configuration with a logo in the upper left, okay, as opposed to center. So right now, as you can see, the live area, so to speak, okay, that the live type area would be this, okay. And over here, it's going to be much smaller, as we can see. And over here, you've got just this whole, I think just this is too much at the top of the letterhead. It's going to be huge. I mean, don't forget, that's 8.5 inches high, wide. Same thing with this. And at this point, I would recommend not introducing any kind of wavy patterns or any kind of, these wavy color backgrounds that you're experimenting with. And the reason being is because we haven't introduced them yet. So it would be counterintuitive to introduce them now. In other words, there's nothing here. There's nothing so far that we've done that indicates this kind of wavy background. It doesn't really, it's not dependent on the logo. The logo's not dependent on the wavy background. So for that reason, I would say let's stay away from any kind of additional wavy kind of swoopy colors right now. Same thing with this, let me just go through this and this will all make sense in 1 second, I promise. Okay, so my suggestion is to go with the Guardian Network Security along with your, your final logo right up there in upper left. Forget the border around the page. Okay, because that's boxing things in, and you want this to have a nice open relationship with the paper and the outside environment of the paper. You don't want it boxed in. Okay, so you have your logo up there. The other thing I would recommend in your letterhead is the contact information. Don't forget the letterhead has to have contact information. I mean, the address, the telephone number, the fax number, the URL, website, email, etc. And I think a great way to configure a letterhead is just to place that at the bottom of the page. And you'll see that if you go ahead and take a look at some examples, you'll see that it's done over and over, and it's a really super versatile way to design a letterhead. And I think it's the best way to design a letterhead. Contact information along the bottom, Guardian Network Security up top. That way you have this entire area of the page to work with for a sort of, it'll make it very, very versatile in terms of the uses of a letterhead, whether it be for invoicing or general correspondence, etc. It's going to be really super versatile once you open up that area of the page. Again, no border, contact information at the bottom, and your logo up left. Careful how big you are going with the logo here. Now, don't forget, like I said, this is 8.5 inches wide, so I mean that's going to be pretty big in itself. I mean, watch your relationship to the paper, the size of the page, and the size of the block of text that's going to take. And you can center align the type here, so fax, URL, telephone, address, or however you want to do that, span the bottom of the page from there. Okay, that would be my recommendation for the letterhead. Now, moving to the envelope, I would try to keep the same configuration, use the same logo, and keep it up in the upper left-hand corner, of course. And I would stay away from, like I said, introducing any new color swatches, color blocks, etc. Another really good suggestion is to design both sides of the envelope. So basically what you can do is you can say Guardian right here, just so it's exactly like the letterhead. So if they're sitting together, they look like they belong. The logo's in the upper left-hand quadrant of the composition. Everything looks harmonious and consistent. And then what you can do, and instead of, putting your return address there, you can just turn that over and put the return address on the bottom, on the actual back of the envelope where the envelope folds over. If it folds over, if this is the back of the envelope, it would look like this, right? And you can just put your return address right up there. You can even, if you want, if you really want to add that more color, you can even add color to that flap, that over flap of the back of the envelope, and then place your logo I'm sorry, your return address right there. I think that's a really neat configuration as well. Plus, it will add all sorts of consistency. Now, moving to the business card, I think that the best configuration in terms of maintaining this kind of consistency that we're establishing through the letterhead and the envelope is to take the business card, and I think this is your best composition here, but without the color swoosh. I would remove the color swoosh, leave the logo right there, and then configure your contact information right there. It'll be a really nice play on negative space. It will, and, you know, your other option is, since you're placing your information at the bottom of that centered, you could also go with something like this, where you have, but instead of that big logo right there, try placing it right there. Okay, forget the color swatch, and then go ahead and assemble your contact information right there with the name right there. Okay, so those are my recommendations, and just I don't want to tell you exactly what to do, though I think I kind of just did, but I'm more trying to give you food for thought, some considerations and things that you can weigh out while you're working out your final details. So go ahead and take what I've said, and hopefully everything makes sense. If not, let me know, but it should. And then rework your final compositions from there. And again, please let me know if you have any questions. All right. Thanks again, Amy. Great job.